The day Elias lost everything, the sun was shining brighter than it ever had in his entire life. But let me start from the beginning, because this story might just save you. In a small farming village, nestled between golden hills and a restless river, there lived two brothers, twins, Elias and Mateo. Born on the same stormy night, raised under the same leaking roof, fed from the same cracked bowl. But they were as different as fire and rain. Elias was a dreamer. He loved sitting beneath the old oak tree, watching clouds, sketching in the dirt. Tomorrow, he'd always say, I'll start tomorrow. Mateo was different. He watched the sky too, but not to dream. He watched it to read it. And every morning, before the rooster crowed, Mateo was already in the field, hands in the soil.
Their father, old Tomas, was dying. Everyone in the village knew it. The cough that rattled his chest had turned from dry to wet, from wet to bloody. He called both sons to his bedside one October evening when the light came through the window like liquid amber. "Boys," he rasped, gripping each of their hands. "I'm leaving you the farm. Both of you. 40 acres. Split equally. 20 each. But hear me well. The soil is generous, but it is not patient. There is a season for planting, a season for harvest. Miss it, and the land gives you nothing. Nothing." He looked at Elias, long, hard, searching. Then he said 7 words that would haunt Elias for the rest of his life. "Make hay while the sun shines, son." 3 days later, old Tomas was buried beneath.
The brothers divided the land. A wooden fence split the 40 acres clean down the middle. Same soil, same water, same sun. Equal in every possible way. Winter came and went. Then one morning in early March, something magical happened. The frost broke. The earth softened. The air turned sweet with the smell of possibility. Mateo was ready. He'd spent the entire winter sharpening tools, sorting seeds, repairing the plow, studying which crops fetched the highest price at market. The moment the frost broke, he was in the field, plowing, planting, sweating, row after row after row. He called across the fence, "Brother, the soil is perfect today. Warm, moist. You must plant now." Elias watched from his porch, coffee in hand.
Relax, Mateo.
Spring just started. There's plenty of time. I'll start next week. But next week, Elias had a different excuse. His back hurt.
Oh, my back! This
And his
plow
plow
again.
needed fixing.
Ha
And his friend
Full out!
Diego invited him to a card game in town. And he simply didn't feel like it. The sun kept shining. The perfect soil kept waiting. And Elias kept saying the most dangerous word ever invented: tomorrow. By late April, Elias finally dragged himself into the field. But something was wrong. The soil that had been soft and perfect in March was now dry and hard, cracked like old leather. He planted anyway, carelessly, hastily, scattering seeds like a man throwing coins into a wishing well. Some seeds sprouted. Most didn't. By June, the contrast was so stark that people from neighboring villages came just to stare. Mateo's 20 acres were a cathedral of green. Tall, proud, magnificent. Elias's 20 acres looked like a battle.
In late July, a traveler passed through the village. A weathered old woman with sun-cracked skin and eyes like polished obsidian. She stopped at the village well and announced to anyone who would listen, "A drought is coming. The worst in 40 years. You have 3 weeks, maybe 4, before the river dries and the sky turns to brass. Whatever you have in those fields, harvest it now. Store water. Prepare." The village
Meanwhile, Elias heard the same warning. He felt the same urgency. For about an hour. Then he convinced himself the old woman was crazy. "It'll rain," he told himself. "It always rains eventually." 4 weeks later, the drought hit. Like a fist from God. The river didn't just slow. It vanished. The stream bed turned to cracked clay and bleached stones. The sky became a merciless dome of white heat. Crops that hadn't been harvested withered and died standing up, like soldiers falling in formation. The grass turned to paper. The soil turned to powder. And it didn't rain for 7 months.
Elias's meager crops, the ones he'd planted too late, tended too little, and harvested too slow, were gone. All of them. His fields were a desert. His barn was empty. His water stores were dry within weeks. And not by the drought, by his own hand.
He came to Mateo's door on a cold November night, thin as a shadow, hat in his hands.
"Brother," he whispered, unable to meet Mateo's eyes. "I have nothing. Nothing to eat. Nothing to sell. Nothing to plant next season. I need help." Mateo looked at his twin, this mirror image of himself.
He fed Elias from his stores. The wheat he'd harvested in time, the corn he'd dried, the water he'd saved. He gave freely, because that's who Mateo was. They sat together by the fire that night, bellies full, while the drought wind howled outside like a wounded...
Brother, I love you. I will always share what I have with you. But I need you to understand something. We had the same sun, the same soil, the same seeds, the same warning. The difference between your empty barn and my full one is not luck. It's not talent. It's not God's favor. The difference is this. I respected time, and you treated it like it was infinite. Father told us both, make hay while the sun shines. I listened, not because I'm smarter, not because I'm stronger, but because I understood that the sun does not shine forever. The window opens, and then it closes. And when it closes, brother, no amount of regret can pry it back open.
Elias broke down and wept, not from hunger, not from cold, from the crushing, clarifying weight of understanding. He wept because he could see, finally, painfully, completely, every golden hour he'd wasted, every perfect morning he'd slept through, every opportunity that had stood right in front of him, patient and glowing, waiting for him to simply reach out and take it, before quietly walking away.
The drought ended in February. The rains returned like a long-lost friend. The river filled. The earth softened again. And on the first morning of the new spring, something remarkable happened. Elias was standing in his field before the rooster crowed. Not Mateo. Elias. He was there in the darkness. Tools sharpened. Seeds sorted. Plow ready. When the first ray of sunlight broke over the eastern hills, Elias drove his plow into the earth with a force that startled the birds from the trees. Mateo watched from across the fence, coffee in hand. A slow smile spread across his face.
What happened to tomorrow, brother?
Elias didn't stop working, but his voice carried across the morning air, strong and clear and brand new. Tomorrow is a lie I used to tell myself. Today is all I have, and I will never.
That year, Elias's harvest was even larger than Mateo's. Not because he was suddenly smarter or luckier, but because a man who has known the agony of wasted time works with a fire that comfortable men can never match. The brothers farmed side by side for 40 more years. Their combined harvests fed half the valley. They became legends. And every spring, on the first day the frost broke, both brothers would stand together at the fence line, look up at the rising sun, and repeat their father's words, like a sacred prayer. Make hay while the sun shines. Then they'd laugh, grab their tools, and get to work. Because they finally understood the deepest truth about life. Time is the only currency you can never